Desert Island Discs.
Welcome to this edition of Desert Island Discs, your favorite #1 personality profile program. On the program this evening, the pleasure is ours to host a man that we may possibly know in so many facets. He's been telling me in our prep conversation earlier on that he's a jack of all trades, and that's what many of his friends call him. And then when we went into exploring exactly what he does, I am bracing myself for a life story like no other. Welcome to the program, Bamulinde, businessman, father, scout of opportunities. You smell them 20 years ahead and everything in between.
Thank you, Simon. Glad to be here.
You a jack of all trades, businessman, motivator on social media, speak at different occasions. Who exactly are you? What do you do on a day when you wake up in the morning?
Okay. My name is Hilary Bamulinde. I was born in 81.
That's very recently.
Well, many people actually believe I'm much older than I look. I don't know. I guess it comes with responsibilities.
No, they hear you talk fast even before they see you.
Probably. Yes. Married with 4 children between the ages of 5 and 15. 1 year and 16 next month. What do I do when I wake up? Well, I think I have the pleasure to do what I want when I wake up. I know not many people have that opportunity. I could wake up and play golf.
Wow.
I only took up golf 2 years ago, and I found it very exciting. So it's a very challenging sport. I don't want to say my handicap.
No, I won't challenge you too. Just to give you comfort.
I'm struggling with I'm handicap 19.
You're doing very well.
I wish it was.
Some of us are totally handicapped.
I know, but well, it's a very challenging sport, very lovely sport. I love it. So when I wake up, I get to do what I choose to do on that day. I could have some meetings. I tend to schedule most of my meetings in the afternoon, probably after a golf game. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I sleep in and work on the phone, pull my laptop to my bed. So I guess I've probably earned the privilege to use my time as I feel like.
Let me just to remove the shroud of mystery around what you do. I just need to give some information to our listeners and viewers that if they have had the pleasure of eating something called urban gweke, you revolutionized what used to be gweke as we knew it and added the word urban, put it in a good packaging, and then got our teeth gritted.
True.
That's very
some people used to call it hardcore.
Hardcore. And then
it had all sorts of names.
Later on, you tell us how you remove the hard from the corn and made it urban gweke, but it's an interesting snack to eat. But you also know that you appropriate a number of entertainment sports, including Alchemist in my neighborhood in Bugolobi. I also know that you are into real estate. I also know you're into trading. I also know you're into motivational speaking. So there's everything that you do. When do you get the time? Is your day 48 hours?
Things like motivation speaking, I don't know. I think it's something that Twitter just caught on recently. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you, I had 300 followers at the beginning of COVID.
Mm-hmm. 300.
300. Yeah, I think I was following 50. I had 300.
You are following 50. 1, 2, 3, 50. Or 50,000.
Yeah, no, 50.
Mm-hmm.
Not 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I had 300 followers. But the first lockdown hit everyone hard, everyone different. So I started to put my thoughts on Twitter. Know your type. Sometimes there's 1 like, sometimes there's 2 abuses and no like. And somehow people started warming up to my conversations. Of course, now the tone started changing. Mm-hmm. I remember my initial tweets were a bit aggressive. Then I realized, at some level you have to you have a brand. Yeah. You have a brand and some expectations. You don't want to be fighting with the feminists. You have to be very careful what you say about the region and things like that. But so somehow I think I have about I have 31,000 followers now, and I guess people take a grain out of so many things I say. And that how somehow made me sort of an influencer.
Don't say that so loudly. Soon, very soon, with a new law in the office.
There'll be text for that. I guess it'll be someone who says something that may touch some people. If I'm to put it in many words. Yeah. So you asked how do I get to do
all the things?
How do I get to do all the things? So I don't have many things that I do directly on my own, apart from probably real estate, which is easy to manage. Most of the other businesses that I run or have an interest in, I work with partners.
Wow.
So most of them, probably one of us had the idea, or I had the idea and brought on other partners to bring in some funding, or they had the idea, I brought in the funding. Maybe you also talk to other people, sold the idea to them, and they put in money and that kind of thing. It's not as partnerships are not easy. They have their issues. You've seen many companies go down because of shareholder disagreements. Yes, I've had them as well. We try to manage them as much as we can. Some have worked, some have not. But yeah, it is what it is. You learn, you get yourself back up. Recently, someone had a business idea, and I asked them how much they had to put in, and they said no, they only had the idea. So I told them, you know what, I need you to go back, do your business plans. Once you identify how much you need, make sure you can raise at least 20% of that, because I need to be sure that if you come to me with an idea that requires, say, 100 million shillings, that if you put in 20 and I put in 80, I need to feel in my heart that if this business went down, you will feel as much pain losing your 20 million as I would have lost the 80. Yeah. So, but that has come from experience. Previously, someone will come with an idea and I'm excited about it, to put in money. Then you realize that when you lose, the only thing that the other person has lost is the time they put in. But that time is not worth the amount of money
that
I have lost.
Put in the time.
So,
the person could have stolen the idea somewhere, throw it at you, and that's just about it.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've gone through that phase. Probably the next few minutes tell you about how some of the business started and whatever. But I don't know. Probably tell you about the Hillary from...
That's what I was coming to, because I said, now what we know is the finished product.
Yeah.
But from my little research about you is the making of Hillary, and the essence of our conversation tonight is that, the making of you. You told us of when you were born.
Yeah.
You haven't told us where you were born.
Okay.
To whom you were born.
Okay.
Just that.
Okay. So, born 1981 in rural Mitoma, a small village called Yakahimbi. Mitoma, that at the time was
part of Bushenyi.
Was part of Bushenyi district. Now Mitoma is a district. I think you can cycle border to border in like 10-15 minutes.
If you're driving at 20 kilometers an hour and you blink,
yes, you'll be
miss
there.
The border.
Yes, actually, if you the first hash break after starting, you'll be the border. That's how small the district is now. Yeah, so born in Mitoma, Bushenyi, partly raised in Bushenyi, Ishaka and Mitoma. My father was called Augustine Kakondele. My mother called Jennifer Mukama. My parents separated when I was very young. I think I was still in primary 3, around primary 3.
Were you an only child?
I was not the only child. Family of 4, 4 children.
Were you the oldest?
I was the oldest on my mom's side, and I had siblings on stepmom's side.
Okay.
So when they separated, I took, because my mother moved to Ishaka, my father stayed in Mitoma. I took turns in between the two parents.
Wow.
And there were incidents where, so my father would come and pick me from school and take me back to Mitoma. Unfortunately, at that time, there are no telephones. So if you needed to find if your child is in Mitoma, you actually had to walk there. Or take a bus or a car there to find out. It's not like you would call someone and say, is this child there or not? So yes, I know I had that share of being in between fighting parents,
yes.
Which is not a good thing. But then I think that was the beginning of the issues. You know, sometimes they say, I like telling people on Twitter, there's plenty of space under rock bottom. Because people say, no, he fell, he's on the rock bottom. Like, no, it is bad. It can get, it's worse, it can get worse.
I love that.
it can get
even below.
You can even go below rock bottom. So yes, so you're in between the fighting parents, in between their two homes. And then unfortunately, both pass away a year in between. And
who went first?
Yeah, my dad died first. I think I was in primary 5 at the time. And then my mother followed when I was in primary 6. It's nearly 30 years ago. Close.
Right over there.
Yeah.
On this program, we play our music.
Yeah.
What song shall we play?
I like the words in the Gambler by Kenny Rogers. It talks a lot to the business to a businessman. It tells you when you should hold, when you should fold, but most importantly, never count your never count your money while still on the table. And in today's life, you would say basically it's like don't show off, because anything could happen and people, it could go, it could go down.
Wow. It's a nice way to start our Sunday evening with a beautiful song coming in from the country icon Kenny Rogers. The Gambler, as chosen by you, Hilary Bamulinde, but most importantly, not for anything else, but the lyrical value in that song. Do you live by those very principles?
There's like I try my best. I try my best to know. As a businessman,
keep all your cards by your chest.
The art of negotiation is never reveal your first hand. And that's a principle. I live by that. This business of what is your budget, that doesn't work with me. I need to know your expectations first before I tell you my budget.
We'll be right back. It's Desert Island Discs.
Desert Island Discs.
You got to know when.
Welcome back to the program. It's Hilary Bamulinde, jack of all trades. But from the way his story is evolving, he seems to be the true embodiment of grass to grace, never to grass again, and still gracing. So your parents die, 1 year in between.
Yeah.
The curtains close on you.
Yeah. So yes, and like I said, there's always a room at rock bottom. So your parents die and think this is the worst thing that can happen, but there was still more to come. Wow. So my parents die, and so my uncle on my mother's side picks us and takes us to Nachi Valley. Nachi Valley was a refugee camp.
Refugee camp?
Yeah. And yes, I did. That's where my mom's side came from. So they lived just next to a refugee camp. By idea, they were part of the community
around
in the refugee camp. Mm-hmm. So we lived with him for some time. Life was difficult. My mother had a few properties, just household items,
not
a house, mm-hmm. Which my uncle assumed. Of course, now they became his properties. Mm-hmm. But when they took say 3 or 4 mattresses from your mother's house, but now you sleep on a floor. When the visitors turn up, you are the guy that goes to the floor. But his children that were asleep previously on a mat have now graduated to a mattress. So it was hard. Of course, then the school was also miles away. I think we used to walk about 8 kilometers a day to the school that used to teach half Chinyarwanda, half Runyankore, half English. At the time I was speaking more Luganda and at the time I was speaking more half English, half Luganda. Mm-hmm. So it was pretty hard. So one day I woke up. I think there used to be 2 buses that would come from that side.
That's in Isinjiro.
From Isinjiro, heading to Kampala. So one day I woke up, told my sister, who I'm 4 years older than her, that you know what, I'm going to Kampala. I had been in Kampala with my mom, so I knew a few of her friends. So I said, I'm going to seek help. So I get...
That's where what age was that?
Now that I was in P6, so I'll be about 10, 11. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was in primary 6. So I get onto the bus without a penny. And, buses you'd enter, then somehow halfway the journey or somewhere, they ask for money. So
what was your game plan?
Well, my story was, we're going to pay you when I get to Kampala, because my uncle
is waiting for you.
Is waiting for me there.
At the bus park?
Yeah, at the bus park. Then we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out once
we're in
Kampala. I mean, no problem, not run. Hey. No way it is. They take you, they say, we go there, and then he gives him. And when I show up and say,
maybe you could show up at the bus park, and possibly the guy lives in Bwai. So
I'll figure out when I get to Kampala. Anyway, so we got to Mbarara. Just before Mbarara, they start charging because some people are dropping off in Mbarara. Mm-hmm. This is when the guy asks me, and I tell him, sorry, I'll get the money when we get to Kampala. And the guy didn't want to know. He threw me off the bus. I spent, I think, about 3-4 hours in the bus park, just looking around. And I chanced on someone that came
before hunger could kick in?
Yeah, and I'd packed my potatoes.
Boiled?
It was standard, boiled, with with the cover, the peeling is the new
jacket potatoes.
Yes, call them jacket potatoes now, but a sweet potato. So I chanced on someone who came from Mitoma. He was a businessman as well. Had known my father. I think they had actually probably done some business together. So I tell him,
on him.
yeah, he was just in Mbala
just
Park.
walking and say,
Yeah. You know, Mbala Park had lockups as well. So I probably was buying stuff there to load and take.
you see him?
So I chanced on him, and Mr. Manuel is excited to see me. I had not seen you, child. Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? No, I'm actually alone. I'm heading to Kampala.
You told him the story.
Yeah, but I think like any man, men, we want to avoid responsibility. He did the easiest thing that most men we can do. Instead of saying, oh, maybe I take you, and no, give me the money. Transport me to Kampala.
It's not that we hate responsibility.
So I get
answer to the need of the moment.
Yes. So I get to Kampala.
This time you enter a better bus now.
Yeah, because now I have the money for transport. But of course, it wasn't a lot. So I do Kameme. No Kameme. But those days, Kameme you do pay. When you sit in the minibus and you're facing where you're coming from. And
so you sat in the minibus?
Yes, the minibus. That thing was hot.
Of course, you have to
move,
each part takes the heat.
Yeah, sometimes you bus this side and this side. Anyway, I get to Kampala, so I meet this guy, Joseph, who was a friend to my mother.
What a speed, sir.
Okay.
Did you know which suburb of Kampala you were going?
Yes, he lived in Nakulabye. I'd been there. I'd been there.
Okay. So you're not moving.
Because by the time when my dad passed, my mom moved to Kampala, and I lived with her for about a year and a half before she passed. So I'd known Nakulabye. I knew that suburb like the back of my hand.
Okay. But from the taxi park to Nakulabye, I'm sure you walked.
Probably walked. I probably walked. I don't recall that part, but probably walked. So gets him, and he's like, I know, yes, I would love to help, but unfortunately, because he had a small house and he also had a very busy job, he couldn't take over a young boy on you. So he sends me to Masaka to live with his sister. Now, when I said the part of they can be spaced at rock bottom, I actually faced that under the rock bottom while in Masaka.
At his sister's place.
Who now became my auntie, call her Senga. It was really hard.
Where in Masaka? In these villages, in Chida, where?
Yeah, near Saza grounds. Near Saza grounds. Now you live in Saza grounds, you go to school in Chijabwemi, which is about 6 kilometers, 5-6 kilometers. So it was also not it was a stretch every day walk. But I really faced really hard life with my new Senga.
Why? She didn't like you?
Well, I think she had, right now, a few years ago when we reconciled and talked, she told me, you guys will never understand why I used to beat you guys. But I just lost my job. I was looking after 4 orphans, plus my 2 daughters, and I couldn't afford to hear that maybe you stole something or you did. That's why, because now at some point she would tie you. We had a small fene tree, jackfruit. She would tie you on it the other side, and my friend whoop you like 50 times. You have till basically you become like you saw the story of Jesus. How the guy just at some point he just said
he remained there. But you were 12. You're a bit of a robust guy, maybe.
Yeah.
How was she able to, or she was
my friend? Actually, recently I was joking with the daughters. They're like, but can it be Senga used to be that tough? She was strong. My God. She was strong. By the way, so life was really hard, fortunately, around P7, Compassion International came around Masaka registering orphans. So they took me up.
So all this while she was paying your fees?
Yes, the first 2 terms of P6, yes, she paid for me. Then Compassion took me up in P7. So yes, I'm staying with her. Compassion is paying. So we lived together, but life was hard. It was really good.
How hard, apart from the beatings, were there domestic chores that would get you up?
Yes, so you're talking of you need to basically do 1-2 rounds of water first thing in the morning before you go to school. You're carrying around that round jerrycan on a steep hill that is about 1.5 kilometers. You do 3 rounds of that. First take the cow and tie it up, and by the time you get to school, you're practically dozing. By 10 o'clock, you're dozing.
Because you've done it
from being tired, and you woke up at 5. And I think
so no chance of even playing Break foot.
No, my friend, play. No, that was not
That
that
was
was not there.
standard.
But also there was also that emotional torture. Because you get sometimes you do something and he throws a statement like "Twalianga namwe, mwe mwali baddu, mwaliranga ku lulagala. You used to eat on a banana leaf. I know you see, like I'm supposed to be part of this home, but I'm like I'm not part of this home.
There was a bit of the sectarian element that also came to haunt you.
Yes.
Exactly, what's your tribe anyway? Because I've seen you.
I'm a Mnyankole by tribe. Who speaks more Uganda
than Mnyankole.
Mnyankole.
Because you are socialized in Masaka.
Because I lived in Masaka, then I've lived in Kampala 20 years plus. So, yeah, but I'm a Mnyankole by tribe.
And that had a huge effect on you growing up. Did you feel a sense of, I don't put it self-esteem loss, but where you had a sense of hopelessness that you were doomed to fail? Or were you saying, I'm going through this grind, I am waggling through the space at rock bottom, but I'm coming out of this?
Yeah, I don't know. I think personally, I'm a person who has always had so much hope. Even when I was going through all the things, somehow in the school, whatever, I would still create fun moments. I would create things that will make me thrive and live in that environment. Sort of, I would cut off this side, and I'll block it out and leave this. When I finished P7, I got Chuli. Chuli Secondary School. Those days, Chuli was an elite school. I don't know if it still is.
It still is, but the location where it is really... You Chibuli old boys must redeem that school of the slum that's getting
we used
into
to get
school.
all whoever used to get checks from Budo and Smack, they will end up in Chibuli. So I turned up in Chibuli first term, and of course they introduce yourselves, and I tell them my name, and I'm from Masaka Baptist Primary School. And the whole class burst into laughter. No one had ever heard of Masaka Baptist. Immediately I get a name, John the Baptist. Guys called me John the Baptist for the entire term. Now, what saves me is at the beginning of the term, at the end of the term exam, I beat all of them. So now it changes. The story changes. So they say, okay, this is the John the Baptist. Now it's not funny anymore because, well, you come to me for discussion when you're calling me John the Baptist. Then, of course, the girls start warming up to me as well. So now you can make friends. So
if
now,
it was Masaka Umea, they would have had
of course, but you'd be the same. But now, so I tried, and our first lessons in life, I try to, you take advantage, leverage your advantages. So I say, I'm very brilliant in class, I'm very poor on this side. So you say, fine, people want to associate with you. And I think Chibuli had the worst visitation policy in the entire universe.
Why?
Every Sunday.
Well,
So for us who never got visited, trust me, you feel it on a
Every
weekly
Sunday.
basis.
well, they should have been to my school where there was no visitation day. Any day was.
So it was. So I try to leverage that. Say no one is visiting me. I have no money. So I try to. So you want to be with me, you want to associate. So you share.
So you were trading.
Yes. I help you with this homework.
But let's first go back to Masaka. You brought us very quickly from your Baptist school.
Okay.
The choice to go to Chibuli.
Yeah.
How did it occur to you? You could have chosen the nearby.
Chimanya,
Kako.
Masaka SS. Yes, Kako.
You could have been to
St. Henry's.
Kitovu, Kasasa, and then of course Chimanya, Masaka SS.
Yeah.
Why Chibuli?
Okay, so
You are trying to run away
so
from
happened, it so happened that in P7, the school organized a debate trip to Kampala. So when we came to Kampala, we had a debate with Chibuli Police Primary School.
Down.
Yes, down there. So we're driving by, I see the signpost of Chibuli Secondary School. There was a bit of green on the upper side, so I assumed the side it must be all rosy. And of course, we had heard about Chibuli. This is a Muslim school, but also the non-Muslims.
Good footballers.
Yeah, so when I go back, time for filling in, I think it was called job forms. I put Chibuli Secondary School as my first choice. Now, PLE results come out, and I've done well. Second best student in Masaka district, had a 5. Nowadays, I see like the one school in Kampala has like 1,000.
5, you struggle to get your first
try to get a school.
Things are hard.
So I've gotten 5, of course, Chibuli had admitted me. Now Compassion asks me, where did you put your first choice? It hits me that no, Compassion is a Pentecost organization. I couldn't tell them. So I tell them I put Mengo SS. So someone goes to Mengo to pick my admission form. Like, oh, we don't have that guy here. They had to pick it from UNEB. They found out from UNEB because I was now shy to tell them. But I put Chibuli because I saw a banner somewhere.
They did not confront you, reprimand you?
No, they didn't say, yes. Well, it's his first choice. He has been admitted. And you see, that's another thing, probably we'll see this in this, as we go along. When you're an orphan, there'll be so many people in your life taking care of you. But still, there's not that parental thing, connection of this is what I want the child to turn up and whatever. So yes, they why did he put? They admitted him. Okay, let him go. No one will say you've had these stories of you want to go to that school. I insist, but no, that didn't work.
That wasn't working for you. So there's a bit of advantage in being an orphan anyway.
Yes,
you chat your own
that
way.
Came later on. Yeah, but the initial bit was not fun.
What will be your next song?
My next song is I think it's called This Is Love. By the way, I'm very rubbish when it comes to songs, to music and film. I watch a movie and 10 minutes later you ask me who was the actor and I won't tell you the name. But even it starts, next month when it starts, I'll tell you the next part. But
you remember the movie?
The next part of that movie. But the actors...
But you can go all the way, 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
If you think you're the worst. I don't have the attention span to watch a whole movie. I also don't know actors except Morgan Freeman. I think there's another
and a few guys.
Denzel Washington. That one I know.
Well, then I'm not alone. So my next song I'll pick, I think it's called This Is Love by Rema and the band. I like it.
So you know the artists?
Yes, because I listen to it a number of times, especially when I'm driving. Actually, I only listen to music when I'm driving. It's very difficult to find me, stay home, and I'm just there listening to music. Very difficult.
Do you ever dance?
Yes. I used to go out a lot.
With 2 left feet, I guess.
Yeah, probably. I prefer dancing when I'm in my seated, because then you can...
Every move comes in naturally.
When you stand up, the moves have to coordinate.
You dance like you're dancing the next song.
Yes.
We'll be right back. It's Desert Island. This is Hilary sharing with us his life story.
Desert Island Discs.
Baby, come closer, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sing, yeah. Baby, I wanna give you some time.
Great, welcome back. It's an interesting conversation here with Hilary Bamulinde. He's a guy that knows how to execute his storytelling in as much as it contains quite a bit of very jocular anecdotes of his life story. So Hilary, now John the Baptist.
Yes.
You're in Chibuli.
Yeah.
And you are living an interesting life. Brilliant to the T, exceptionally poor in terms of what life has got to offer.
Yeah.
So you will go through that. But what was on your mind as you're going through, the education and all?
Yeah.
Did you have a vocation in mind?
At the time, not. I think S1, S2, I thought I would be a doctor because I used to do very well in biology. I used to do well in physics. I used to do average in chemistry because I didn't like the teacher.
Was that Mr. Cassin?
Forgot the name, but actually it wasn't just not liking, but he caught me. I think we used to do this paper planes and you put a girl's name here and a boy's name here and throw it and it lands, the people and chuckle and laugh. And so I did this and he caught me when I was in the middle of throwing it. So he made me stand in those metallic dustbins and put the cover on my head for the entire lesson. The cover looked like the Vietnam hats. So from that day I hated chemistry.
What was in the dustbin?
Of course, a bit of rubbish from the class. So I thought I would do that. Then around senior 3, senior 4, it started changing. I started telling myself, and which has become a big part of my life, why do you do the hard part if you can do the easy part? So,
let's pause right there.
Yeah.
You had a sister?
Yes.
This who you left in
Yes.
Nachibai?
Yes.
Had you already connected with her?
No. We reconnected long after that. We reconnected after my university. I think she was already 20-something.
Could you recognize her?
Yes. Of course, she had changed in size a bit,
Uh-huh.
but I could recognize her. Yeah.
We'll go back to your siblings and whether you still have the connection, or is it after 20 years of being apart?
Yeah.
Does it become filial love again?
I'll
Or she
say
becomes like any other lady?
I'll say
but
it's
what-
difficult. It's difficult. It's very difficult to. Yes, they're in my life. I take care of them. I educated all of them, paid for all of them.
Yeah, but this you met when she was already 26.
No, no. She was at the time she was about 20. I
Had
was
she had an
24.
education?
Yeah, she had stopped around senior 5.
And gotten married.
And not got married, but she had a child. So I tried to put her back in school. Took her all the way to uni. She finished university. Started a business for her in Kigali. Things didn't work out, and she's now in Kampala.
And okay, but it's
But of course, like it's not. Yes, you know your siblings, but the connection is not as strong as probably if you had gone through the same home and
Hassle.
faced your issues and had fights
and
as
also
siblings.
share those childhood stories and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah. So
Okay. Now let's go back to Chibuli, where you begin
Okay.
to think. Okay.
So Chiboli
You do
S4 by end of S4, I'm telling myself, you know what, I'll do arts. I can pass geography with a 98 without reading. Why should I do biology, which I'll pass with a 75
With a
with
massive
my feet in a basin of cold water at night.
If you had told me that years ago, I wouldn't be here interviewing you.
Yeah, so I said to go arts. So I finished Chiboli. I got to Namiriango College, and now this was totally different. Yeah, Chiboli was competitive,
Mixed school.
Mixed school. I go to Namiriango, and it's laid back. We had no fence. We had no fence on the A-level side. And the headmaster, Mr. Chuka, Dr. Pelgrim Chuka, at the time, he used to tell us, you guys know this school is like, you get the traffic lights. It's red, you stop, green, you move. But when it's red and you move, it doesn't pull you back. So you know where the school fence is, where it's supposed to be anyway. So just as it's not there, you should know where it is. So if you're caught on the other side, that's your business.
Hey, if you are caught.
On the other side of the fence, you sort yourself. But then now, I'd mastered the art of being out of school. I used to be out of school. I was the hired gun. So if anyone needed something from their parents, I was the go-to guy, because I would get out of school almost.
Why? How?
Because I could. And well, I was an orphan. That's the other advantage. I was not so scared of some things.
To meet a parent. on the
Yeah,
streets
no, I'm
and-
not going to meet a parent. I'm not going to meet any relative. All my
Nobody
relatives
knew
are in
you.
Bushenyi. I was probably the only one among my relatives that had reached that level by then.
Compassion knew you as a statistic.
Hey,
So you
hey,
have to
can
know
imagine
your
your number in the book among the thousands. So for me to go out was
without permission.
easy. Without permission, find a way. So you go out and know if you send me and your father gives me 50,000, I take about 10, 5 with all the risks I've taken. So it's like 20% standard VAT. Yeah. So then
So I think you
I
are not
started
John
a
the
little.
Baptist. You should be the Matthew the tax collector.
Yeah, so I started a little bit of trading, because now I could go out, so I could buy a few things. Maybe buy 10 chapatis for 100 shillings, sell it at 200 for whoever is dying to have it.
Samwaraji.
A little bit.
That's normally very lucrative.
A little bit.
Cigarettes.
Yes. So we would do that magendo and see like a profit would keep you going.
But when you got holidays, where would you go anyway?
Now, when I get holidays, in senior 3, I'd vowed I'm not going back to school. I'm going to run out of school. I'm going to run away, because I was tired of the torture
Massacre.
I was going through with my singer. So at the time, the project director of the Compassion Project decided to take me on. Yeah, he was a young man. He was Langi. Yeah, he is Langi. I started living with him.
In Kampala.
No, in Masaka. So whenever I get holidays, I'll go and live with him. And I learned so many lessons with him, because now this was a bachelor living there, a young boy.
So you were just like washing his
No,
clothes?
I used to do everything. I used to wash, I used to cook. So I learned how to cook.
But without reprimand, without
without reprimand.
Not beat you.
It was
you talk
also,
like
so
men.
it was easy, like eggs and fried cassava. And you can do it again for dinner. So it wasn't like you have to do matoke. And also being Langi, he wasn't so into matoke. So we would do a bit of posho and beans. So I learned how to cook. And it later in life came through as a life skill. Because
Wow.
I was
Now
in
you're
UK
cooking.
on my own, and cooking was not a problem. People coming from Newcastle to eat my Sunday lunch, because cooking was not a problem.
So with your Sandra, did you have a moment to say, where are
With my guardian.
we? Did you get it?
After okay, so
when you vowed not to go back there to live.
No, I didn't.
You
I just moved on, and of course she knew that I was with living now with the project director. Of course, they had sat as a committee and said, no, this guy is a brilliant boy, but if we don't protect him from the...
Were they aware of the abuse you're going through?
I think they became aware at some point. When you're someone who beats children like thugs, the neighbors talk. The neighbors talk. So these people are aware. And of course, by senior 3, you're a bit of not an adult, but you talk and people, people. At the time I tell them, either I'll join the army or I'll do anything. So yeah, so now you are okay. So Namilyango, done, senior 6 is done.
Your guardian is in Masaka.
My guardian is in Masaka. Yeah, so holidays I would go back. So that was an easy time. I started making friends. I made lots of friends in Namilyango. Made friends with.
Did you play any sport, Hillary? You're not mentioning anything like that.
Yes, I did play cricket school week and first Kamyuka, but I don't think I swung it. But I think I was just doing this one.
And the next thing, the wickets were up in the air.
Yeah, I did play a bit of cricket. First in Namibia, everyone tries a hand at rugby. In my S5 first few weeks, I played a bit of rugby, and the guy gave me a hand of fear. I spun twice. Fell on the floor, and now you tell yourself, I've died. Then 10 seconds later, you woke up and say, "Not that one, never." Yeah, but yeah, I did a bit of football like anyone, but casual, not things of school team and whatever. Hey, I did a bit of cricket up to the school team, but not the first choice.
They would put you there when things are bad.
The guy falls sick, you get on. Yes.
You live in Namilyango.
So I live in Namilyango.
Headed the university.
Did well. Got to university. Was offered social sciences.
At Makere.
Yes. I missed getting mass comm by 0.5, which initially felt very painful. Then I remembered my default mode. Why do the hard thing if you can do the easy thing?
Mass comm.
So mass comm, harder course, social sciences, on government. You're in Mitchell Hall. We had the time of our life.
Blasted.
You're in a hall. You're someone who had started now a hand at business. You're trading
businesses. You okay, apart from Magendo of taking people's pocket
money. We're doing Magendo now, but when we started now doing phone booth. At that time, phone booth were a thing. So you'd have people operating them for you, giving 1,000 shillings a day. We partnered and bought a printer and put it at one of the busy hostels. Things like that, small ones. So I do the first year. At the end of the first year, a very close friend of mine, my best man, I was his best man as well. So May tells me, she had cousins in UK. He says, but Hillary, why don't we go for Cheyo? We have 4 months of that long vacation. I think it used to be 4 months.
July to
September. So we go, we apply for visas. We are fortunate, we got the visas. Because those days you would apply. You would apply as a tourist. You're going to tour. No, those days it was easy. You go to Nasa Road and buy a bank statement. Of one Simon Barieku. You go and write a letter saying that Simon Barieku is your father. He has sponsored you to go for a tour of England. Of course, the bank statement shows a bit of money, and then, of course, visa. So what are you going to see? So now I'm a big fan of Arsenal. I'm going to see Highbury. The young ones will not understand why Highbury is.
Exactly.
The old home of Arsenal. Then he thrown London Eye. Because of course the confidence, the confidence was there. You get your visa.
Trafalgar Square and take a picture right in front of the Ugandan High Commission.
It's my dream. And so
having lined up the whole night there at Parliamentary Avenue.
Yes, from where Javas is now. It used to be Mythos. It was Mateos then.
Nando's.
People would line up from 9 p.m. But first we are sharp. You'd have a guy lining up for you.
You show up in
10K, show up in the morning. He gets out, you get in. Anyway, so we get the visas. My friend's mom, Semei's mom, lends me the money for the ticket. So we go.
Okay, but wait a minute. Before you left Makere, I mean, now you have freedom, you have everything.
Yeah.
You're also a hot-blooded young man.
Yeah.
Ladies in the area or anything? Or for you to survive?
No, first year we're in Mitchell Hall. Mitchell Hall was like the gateway. Everyone passed through, either on the side or in the middle. So we'd sit there from morning at the pool table and watch whoever is passing. Yeah, so first, yeah, we did make friends. We did met, and I was unfortunately I was in a room that was bigger. I think we were about 10, and yes, a few things happened in the room. Some guys were not shy.
They
So
would bring
tortured us.
You get to
You get bin the whole group. Yeah, but yeah, started making friends.
off to London.
Off to London.
Meanwhile, you are this man from Chijabyemi, where in Masaka.
Chijabyemi, Masaka. Now I've landed in London.
Your first feel over. No, let's not even go to London. I'm sure your accents changed along the way, like Abaita Babi towards the airport.
A little bit.
In it.
Yeah, in it.
Then you get on the plane.
Yeah.
The experience.
Well, I can't describe it well because it's been a while. But one thing I remember, the taking off and landing. Oh God, it was things of you. Actually, I remember telling someone, if I ever die on a plane, I'll go to heaven because I say all the prayers that I know.
Right.
Right.
And seek forgiveness.
Yes. Repent all my sins. So jump into London. And my first cheyo is those days it was easy. You get someone who has been there, and you turn up at a job center or somewhere where they're looking for workers and say, my name is so and so. No one asks for an ID. Start working and you get paid.
On this guy's ID.
On that guy's ID. All you had to do is know his name, his date of birth, and his national insurance, NI. That's all. So get in, I think within 2-3 days, we had jobs.
What jobs?
Now, I'm working for Croydon Council.
Your first stopover was at Croydon place where all the Ugandans were.
We are binmen. People may not understand binmen here, but basically you're like Kasasiro boys. You'd pull the dustbin from the household, take it to the truck, press a button, and truck tips it in, comes back down, and you wheel it back. And you basically walk behind the truck, but a day we'd walk about 10-15 kilometers a day, wheeling, putting, like that. The only advantage with this job is we would start at 5 a.m. and finish by 9, because you'd start very early to avoid traffic, but you'd still be paid for an 8-hour shift. So it will be taken as if you work, say, from 8 in the middle of traffic and finish at 5. You would still do the same work.
So after 9?
Yes, so after 9 now I would go and say look for car wash. Those ones had jobs ready available and paid by the hour on the day. So you probably go this one. If they're full today, go to another one.
You didn't even have a permanent car wash?
No, just so because I was living in Tooting, working in Croydon. You go and look around Tooting because you can finish late and even just walk off.
If things are bad, you go to Red Hill.
Yeah. Yes. So, but now I think after the first month, I was fortunate. Now the company that was contracted to do the cleaning for Croydon Council introduced sweeping roads. Because this was what season is that? Is it autumn where the leaves are falling? So the trucks
that's autumn. I think that's
one of those. That the truck that collects these leaves, we used to push, collect amount, then it comes and picks one. So the guy, the Mzungu driving that thing, would sit here and smoke his cigarette. He watches you. When you've done like 10 months, he comes, picks, and then starts again, and then gets his second cigarette and watches. So now we'll do that for about 4 hours, 5 hours, and it'll also be counted as an 8-hour shift. So they work from 5 a.m. to about 5 p.m. and be paid for 16 hours.
And that would be what stretch of a road that you were?
That's about probably 10 kilometers. Another 10. So people think Cheyo was not easy.
For you
Cheyo was the real Cheyo. Now at the time, I'll tell you a funny story. I used to eat chips chicken every day.
Why?
I ate chips chicken every day for 60 days because chips chicken was the cheapest meal anyone could buy. Here people think chips chicken is
chicken. You know how it is, even on a buffet. You can serve yourself anything, but on the chicken spot, there is a muscled man there waiting. One piece.
But actually, I think now you can equate it to Chikosovo. Do you know Chikosovo? You know Chikomando? Chapati beans. There's Chikosovo. Chikosovo is cassava and kedo.
You have seen this.
Now, you imagine eating cassava and kedo for 60 days. So I had this, you call it, the time we call them chippies, here we call them takeaway. where I used to buy, it was 99p.
Wow.
2 pieces of chicken with fries. The Indian man in that shop, you'd see him crossing the road and he starts parking. He knew that black guy cannot add on coleslaw of 10p. I could not, of course, people not understand coleslaw. Salad, like a salad of 10p. Never.
10 pence is what?
10 pence.
300 shillings?
Never. He knew the guy standard 99p.
Less than
actually, I think I was so good a customer at once in a while he would throw in a free soda.
So you didn't even take this neat, no soda?
Neat, tap water. Tap water, standard. Because you see, when I was trying to save money to pay my ticket, I was trying to save money to buy some things for myself. I wanted to do some shopping for my girlfriend, but also most of I wanted to come back with money.
Why are you telling these horrific stories to your girlfriend back home? You are telling her, man,
no,
sipping
you would once in a while you'll chance on a guy takes your picture, and I think those days you send them by email, or you come back with your actual picture, and you've now put on dressed a little bit like you with a jacket. The colder season, October, the season is starting. You put on the jacket and take a picture, and then 5 minutes later take them off and put on your thing.
How are you living? How are the living conditions?
So now, then we're sharing a house with my friend's cousin. It was a 1-bedroom house. She had I think a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, and the rest of us were 3 of us. Meanwhile, not me, because there was their other cousin. We're all sleeping in the sitting room. But now I was working during the day. My friend was working at night. So I'd come in. We took a whole month without seeing each other, but we're living in the same house. So when I'm leaving at 5, he has not yet come back. He comes back in at about 6, because he was doing a security job, working at night. Me, I was doing the chayo, doing work. So there was always a bit of space in the house. But you know, like houses, it's one sitting room, bedroom upstairs. So under the stairs there's space. Then here, so
then on this couch,
someone is in the couch. Sometimes you'd be so tired that you'd come and pretend to watch TV and do this. And when you do this, your alarm has gone off. You shower and shoot off. So that was a bit of what Che was, but it taught us. It taught us so many things. Made a bit of money, came back.
When you say a bit of money, what are you talking about here?
I came back. I think I came back my first year Cheyo. I came back with about after paying the ticket. I think the ticket at the time was probably about £300. I think I came back with about £1,400.
Neat cash.
Neat cash.
But with some shopping.
With some shopping, and I think 3 suitcases of clothes, 2 for my girlfriend.
1 for you.
1 for me.
Much of which you hadn't actually bought, but you'll pick off, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course, sometimes you go to charity shops and whatever. Yeah, all that. So I had a bit of money. So you come back, and then we did a party every day for like a month. Had a group of like 20 birthdays every day. I would buy food, buy drinks. Sometimes they refund people's transport back. Yes. We partied, and then the money got finished. Like anything else in life. If you are spending and nothing is coming in, the money gets finished. But for me, I look back at a lot of these stories with pleasure, because they taught me.
A few things.
You have people you're looking after, you're spending on them, and then when you run out, a guy tells them, I don't have, but he's wearing an iron shirt with a cartoon here. You can. So that's the
So you went back to default settings?
Yes, but it opened my world. Seeing UK and what opportunities were there and what people were doing, my mind now went larger than Kampala. I started thinking so many things, what you could do. And of course, after that, I did many chayos.
So it became a ritual.
Second year, I went back. When I finished 3rd year, I went back, worked the 1st year, came back, partied a bit, and then I went back the following year and did my master's.
Still leaving the same girlfriend behind?
Yes.
Or this time
This time she was in UK as well. But in London, I was in Manchester.
Now she got to know exactly what you were doing.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Now, of course, she also doing jail.
So you went up to Manchester?
Yeah. So I was in Manchester. Yeah. Did applied Salford University for a master's in procurement and logistics. It was about £9,600 then.
You could still afford it.
That was a lot of money.
When you went to government, compassion nekuta.
Yes. Nenta.
Now here you on your own.
Here I was on my own. Yeah. So I worked 2 jobs to pay my university fees. I used to work for Barclays call center, Monday to Friday, but because this was a professional company, you couldn't work more hours because I was on a student visa. I think I was only allowed maximum of 4 hours a day. So I would work in the morning, 8 to midday, and then go to uni in the afternoon, then go to a bar in the evening. I used to work in a circle club. This was a members club.
So you know how to mix cocktails, like?
Yes,
pints.
but now, back to default setting. Why do the hard part if I can do the easy part? Now, I think some of the guys I used to work with figured it later on. I used to make more tips on the floor than bartenders. But then at the end of the night, the bartenders will give me a portion of their tips.
And you didn't give them?
No, because the assumption was
You were not
they
in.
make more tips than me.
What were you doing?
Okay, now, this was, I think, the art of, I used to know how to look after my people. I had a group of clientele who, if they came in, as far as Hillary and say, well, he has gone to the cellar to pick ice, they will wait. Because if you came in with, say, 6 girls and say, take care of my friends. This was a high-end bar, not cheap, guys. You know, guys are going
like the jewel
so
on,
they're not
Oxford
counting
Street.
how much you spent on whatever. So I'd make sure throw in a few shots that because you know the bar would host say events, and you have alcohol that came as part of the event. So it's free. It's not in the system.
It
So
already went
give
on
them
the
a few shots to excite them. I would go to back to the kitchen and get, say, strawberries, melt chocolate, dip them, put them in the freezer for 15, 20 minutes, do some sprinklers, bring them out, give the girl. So, you know, when you come out, you people at the end of the night, like, your guy is good.
Your guy is good. He knows.
So now, if your girls are very happy, well, how much do you think you're going to tip me? You're going to tip me with
Even like a 20.
20, 30. And then, of course, we used to host footballers, the Ferdinands at the time. And, these are guys who, Diouf, a guy who comes and drinks Red Bull, but buys champagne worth £3,000 for his relatives who he has come with. And those are guys who would tip £100. So at some point, Diouf making...
He's taking Red Bull.
Yes, on a Red Bull and water, but he's buying champagne. Yeah, but the black footballers, the English ones, I don't want to mention names, for them they used to drink. Especially when they have their offs and whatever, they used to drink.
But this one was a Muslim.
Yeah, that one never used to. But yeah, so I made lots of friends in that bar. My very first job, which now introduces me to...
You were not the bar guy or the...
No, I was the
you
floor
were
guy, the guy who
guy.
carries the tray. The
Both
guy who
sides.
serves... Actually, I just used to just wear black shirts, I think, black jeans.
And
But
then
smart,
like a-
sometimes the apron. You do a table service, you have 30 people all ordering different things, and you're serving it to one person. So you need to have... it wasn't this thing
Cognitive
here where
ability.
someone says, who ordered this? Oh, no.
You reach and you are two guys.
You do a map, and you're carrying 3 plates, and those plates are hot and heavy. And you have another one here. You know, you get out of the kitchen, you knock it with the back, and then turn. But you know from here who ordered what. So it needed a bit of... it wasn't as...
Graduate.
Sorry?
A university graduate.
A university graduate.
All that you put on the
Yes,
side. You
all
say.
that went on the side. Because you know what? Now my aim is, you know what? If I can get my master's, I can go back to Kampala and compete.
And compete doing what? Blasting and buying drinks? Or you
No,
had a game
compete
plan?
for jobs. Because now I have some bit of work experience. You know, people think that work experience is a company. Working in the bar is work experience. I can put it down on papers, my CV, tell you about customer experience, how I dealt with angry customers,
yeah.
drunk customers, that kind of stuff.
And you got an overdose of that, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. So yeah, so I pay for my masters, and while in that circle club where I used to work, I met someone who became very close. He was very impressed that I was doing a master's degree and working on a bar floor. So he introduces me to a friend of his in Ghana who had a company that used to build telecom towers, Emilongoti. Yeah, so my first stint as a professional job was actually in Ghana.
Hey, so from London?
Yeah, so I went straight to Ghana. This guy paid my my air ticket. He bought me my laptop and subsidized my wages while in Ghana. Because I was also doing some research for him here. He was interested in mining, and so I would go to geology department in in Entebbe. Yeah, ask for all these reports and find a way to courier them back to him. And for that, while I was in Ghana, I was paying me about $5,000 a month. and Ghana was also paying me. So I think my initial capital at many things when I finally returned was the money that I saved from the Ghana stint. From UK, I didn't come with much, but okay, I'd done a few sales, some machines I used to send people, and they owe me some money and that kind of thing. But my initial career capital in one bag was.
You came with that money in one bag, or it was Lloyd's Bank?
It was in the bank. Yeah, but it was in the bank.
Here, I play your next song. When you return, then you tell us how you settle into Uganda and then start being the jack of all trades that you are today.
Okay. My next song, Tokendeza is the right word. I like the beat by GeoSteady. I like the beat, again. But the name, I think it's Tokendeza. But GeoSteady. I find him. He's not so the other side. He's not Fefe Busi. So he's in the middle, and the beats.
I'm not sure Fefe Busi will.
Oh no, I'm not saying no. Sorry. I shouldn't be misquoted. I'm just saying Fefe Busi is hard, bang.
Oh, I
don't have that energy.
I'll be right back into this and this.
Desert Island Discs.
Welcome back. It's Desert Island Discs. Here Bamulinde sharing us his life story, and it's very interesting how a man from his very humble beginnings ends up in higher places, having a good time with Premiership footballers we can only dream about meeting, but you are serving them on the floor of a bar.
Yep.
You told us just earlier on how times were so hard for you that the first time you tasted rice, you were around 9 or 10 years. Rice.
Yes. That's part of my childhood stories.
And you blacked out.
Yeah, that my children don't believe. I did, I think I was about P2, attended a wedding, and it was the very first time that I actually saw rice, very next to me. I'd seen rice some places, that thing, I don't know what it is, but people seem to enjoy it, and you're always wondering. Now, this day I go to a function, and there's plenty of rice. I ate rice and blacked. I passed out. They say that child there, you leave him, you'll be okay. When I tell my children I ate rice, and they laugh their heads over there.
So that rice was not peppered with anything. It was pure rice.
It was pure rice, I think, with some few pieces of meat. But that was the first time I'd ever seen so much of it in my face.
And for you.
Yeah, and for me.
And
okay, I was not in the tent, whatever. Those days they would do the wooden thing and put banana leaves on top. You were behind the house. So I don't know if I was brought leftovers or it was from the original thing.
For you, it was rice.
It was rice.
You died.
I passed out. I tell my children, I think I tasted bread for the first time when I was about 9. They don't believe, because those days bread will come all the way from Bushenyi, and it will come on Christmas, and they used to call them buns.
Not buns, but buns.
Like a small thing and you'd be lucky to chance on one.
And eat it all on your own.
On your own, because there's also a bit of so many cousins. So things have changed. Yeah, no, my childhood stories, my own children can't associate with. They don't understand it. They actually think I'm lying. They think you're exaggerating. That did you really do that? Did you go through that?
Very important lesson for many of us watching and listening, and the things that we tell our children.
Yeah.
But you returned to this country. Now you're of age. Did you quickly repatriate your girlfriend then to come and marry her, or is it a different person you have for a wife?
No, now, funny thing, we had now broken up with my university girlfriend, because we're in UK, she's also in UK, but she was so busy, I was busy, and of course, a few things happened, don't want to blame her, and then we decided to go separate ways. So that time, I started talking to someone else that was in my class. This is a person that I would sit right behind her and her friends. I would actually practically come, walk in front, say hello to everyone individually, skip her, and go back and sit.
Why would you skip her?
One, she was very beautiful, but also we all assumed she must have some. She thinks she's all that. I'll show her also. When you're showing off now, you're showing off.
For
I think in the heart she was like,
this one,
look at this
Kapele."
one, Kapale.
But there's something very interesting.
Yeah.
It's something very beautiful ladies are repugnant. You feel the same way?
Yeah, I think so.
When I was much young. the admiration is there.
Yeah.
But the fear of kicking above your weight.
I know. I think I was just scared of her. Yeah. No, naturally, I'm not someone that I hate rejection because I'm used to getting what I want. Yeah. So when rejection
If
happens,
you see something that
hit
can
hard.
cause you rejection, you're like, why?
So
And you
avoid
think
it.
that.
Avoid it in the first place.
So how do you start talking to this?
So now, because we'd finished campus, I knew her, she knew me, but we're not like talking terms. So there's a friend of hers who I would call once in a while. So now they'd moved into a house together in Chwatule. So I called Judith. I was chatting with Judith, and so who is that? Like Christine saying, "Come let me say hello to Christine." So I talked to her and things. I say, okay, give me your number, Chris. I'll talk to you sometime. So we start talking. And then the conversation become warm, and now we talk for hours. Now I remember, you want to impress her, you're in Ulaya. I send her some money through Salabet. This woman refused to pick it. It was there for nearly a month. Okay, of course, the one of those days and one of now are now different, but you'll kill me for that. But basically, she was just saying,
who do you think
like, why are you sending me money? What is it for? And whatever. So now we start talking. Of course, we fall in love, and I would be on the phone endlessly. I remember my roommates in Oblaya would laugh. You're here. You think she's there alone?
Must be some guy next to her breathing.
She's just, you're lying yourself. And then I'd buy presents. And,
Salad
I'm a
is
giving
what
person. I like giving. I like to feel what the other person might feel when they get this. So I find myself that I'm not buying something for someone because they expect something. I'm buying something like, if I was on their side, how would I feel receiving this and this? Yeah. Yeah. So I would buy all these presents. Some of them were rubbish. I buy them on eBay. They get here and she laughs and says, "What is this nonsense you bought? You bought 20 dozens of the same thing that is actually not even good quality." But anyway, went through those lessons. So we strike a relationship. Came back a few times, saw her, spent time together. Went to Ghana. I think I did a Kwanjula. No, I did Kwanjula after coming back from Ghana. Now, there's a funny story about a Kwanjula. My friends at the time had just started working. So we do a meeting at Centenary Park to collect money for the Kwanjula. I think altogether we collected about 450,000.
What was the budget?
The budget was about 4-5 million.
So you had just done around 10%.
But we had a bar bill of 950. So the bill there. So
if only could swap
I know
what you collected.
yes. So we had more bills to pay than what we had actually collected. But no, I don't want to blame my friends. Most of them had not started work. They didn't have proper jobs.
Yeah, but who was going to pay the bill?
Me. So someone knew I come from Blair. So the guys knew I had a bit of cash. So probably it's the reason maybe guys didn't give money. You know, someone said, but that guy has now, why should I give him my little?
Instead, let me drink his.
So it was one of those lessons. So we do Kwanjula, and I think a year later, get married. That was 2008.
That space between the Kwanjula and the marriage, what are you talking about? What are you doing in here?
So that space between the Kwanjula and the marriage was staying together, first of all.
No child is born around that?
No biological child, but there was a child. So of course now you're getting into the rhythm of learning how to look after the child, and
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Then you get married. Then now, okay, you now continue now to face employment. So you're back from Ghana. You're here.
Yeah, I think just before the wedding, before the Kwanjula, that's when I started. No, after the Kwanjula, I got a job with Umeme. Moved in as a senior procurement officer, I think for 6 months, then got promoted principal procurement officer after 6 months. But I must tell you, at the time, I think I was 25. Yeah, and that time Umeme was, I think, was about 600 man strong. This was a big job. For a 25-year-old whose experience was doing procurement consultancy in Ghana. But it took a chance on me because I had a master's and had done
Being
a
in
bit
the
of
UK,
whatever.
you had an interesting accent.
But everyone,
was Chapman in
everyone that
there.
reported to me was older than me.
Yo.
And I think one of them had a child. Passed a few years ago. God bless his soul. Had a child who was my age.
Yo.
So you know what it's like to manage. So it taught me. Immediately, I also say people think
management.
some people look at me and think I'm older than what I look because the responsibilities came so quickly. From being an orphan to doing juggling this and that,
And
and
then
now you
finally
get a
get a
first
job
professional
where-
job. You're managing people who are older than you. So you now start learning how to respect people, how to communicate. You know, it could be a small thing depending on. It's the same word, but depending on what was the tone. Someone could get annoyed because of the tone.
Even the way you looked at him.
Yeah. Was he blinking?
Did he actually stand at key?
Was his hand in the pocket while talking to you? So you quickly learn to treat people. Of course, my buy experience had been good. Customer service comes quickly. You start. You don't necessarily have to say what you feel. You sometimes you'll serve people and see because you're a black guy. The guy throws the coin on the floor as a tip. And I had a bit of pride still left in me. I would walk away and leave it there.
You wouldn't pick it?
No. I was so proud. But we had an Indian waitress who would pick all of them. And she knew.
Why?
She would look at all the tables and pick all the coins.
She moved
but
with the
me, I
money.
never. No, I had a bit of. Yeah.
So you juggle through then, and at one point you go to the oil industry.
Yeah, so I did, I remember 4 years. Talocam's calling. They're offering me probably about 400% what I was earning at the time. It was very exciting. You're hearing oil and gas. So I sat down with my boss, told him, and he was happy about it. They tried to sit me down with his boss as well. Say, don't go. And, I think from the orphan thing is when I decided to do something, I'll go ahead with it. But I left as a good leaver. Served my notice and will still communicate. So I go to Talo Oil. I was part of the team that was hired to deliver first oil. 10 years ago. That oil hasn't come. Hasn't come yet. Unfortunately, it hasn't come yet. But we're hoping that it will come soon, probably
Then
3 or 4 years.
entrepreneurship comes calling.
Yes. Now, my first proper business, of course, the first 3 years of corporate work, I started doing a little bit of investments here and there, buy land, sell. I'd had some land that I'd acquired through a circle. We had done a group with friends from university. We acquired a loan from DFCU, bought this land in Ichitezi. When it was done, we subdivided. I'd put in more money, so I think I got about 3 or 4 plots. After some years, I flipped for 4 times what I'd put in. So I got excited about that. So I started looking out for land opportunities, buy out of town. Right now I have some land I own in Chuenda. The time I bought it 11 years ago, an acre was 4 million. I know you'd put 1 and pay the basura. Now an acre is 120 million.
In Chuenda.
Yeah.
Now people are looking at you and saying,
Yeah, people say, this land is worth about 3 billion or whatever. Yeah, so, but this is something that has accumulated over time. And you see, this is part of wealth building, whatever. It's a long game. I say most young people now want something tomorrow. That's why you see people bring circles, forex trading, make money because it tells you, no, we'll pay you 20% every week. Every week. Hey, what is it? Do you know what product does he sell? No one will tell you. Say they are doing forex.
what's forex?
Or they tell you, no, bring 2 people on the left, 2 people on the right. When you balance this side and right, like boss, I always ask what do you sell? What product is it on the shelf? Oh, a service. Yeah. So, yeah.
And then you hit Urban Gweke. What was the motivation for that? For me, that
Urban Gweke is the brainchild of my best man. So he's very passionate about food. What I didn't tell you is when we were throughout O level, my friend's mom had chikumi behind Africa Hall. The very first chikumi, where you'd go with 300 shillings, you get some matoke for 100, cassava for 100, and some nyama for 100. So this guy grew up around food. And was very passionate about.
And he knew the food dynamics.
He knew the chain. Yeah, exactly. So he comes up with a recipe, we try it, we give people to test it, people like it, and everyone is asking, how do you do it? And there's a bit of science. There's, I will tell you, there's about 6 companies that have tried to do gweke, and none of them has come anywhere close to what gweke
All the
is.
guys who have tasted it have no teeth.
I know. Yeah. So some people have tried, I think it's maybe in the boiling or the cooking or whatever, or the frying. No, there's a bit of science. Trade secrets. So gweke happens, but gweke happened as a fallback from sachet waraj. So we do waraj as our first venture. We used to import ethanol from Kenya.
Water from here.
I think at some point we even got some from Malawi. So we had a whole filtration plant. And then ideally you blend the two. Ethanol, water, and flavoring. And then packaging. But we didn't know. We had a good idea. We had the product. We did the first sachet that was like a pouch. As in you bite it and suck and put it on the table. And we sit there and it remains standing. And people were excited. The drunkards were excited. And we were like, we are in the money. Few months down the road, we realized, we're not making money. We're actually losing money. Now, we're making good product, but we couldn't distribute it. So you'd have a boy with a truck going to Masindi with 5 million worth of product. He comes back with 500,000 worth of product, but he has 2 million shillings in his pocket. Asking the questions, transport, policy yankute, banzi vehicle, this one didn't pay. So I remember that venture. That venture was costly. I had an apartment in Chihuahua. We were one of the very first owners. Those national housing bought on a pre-construction price, which was good. I think at the time it was about 120 million. Now they go for 300 plus. I sold it. I used to drive a VX. I sold it and bought a Brevis. From a VX to a Brevis, a very massive change to fund that venture. But things were not working because we were competing against guys who had very large capital. They are Indians. They are importing their ethanol from India on credit. First, we were buying with cash, raised from 1-2 shareholders.
And their distribution network.
They had a distribution network, so we couldn't compete much as we had a very good product. And that was the death of the alcohol.
What was your product?
We had silverback vodka and $1 million vodka and a third one. Talk about it was a good product. So when it failed, but in the time while we're struggling with the alcohol, my friend started experimenting with doing gweke. So when it doesn't work, we say, no, let's try this now. So we try it, and that's where it is now.
Wow.
Yeah. 7 years down the road.
Kirari. And when we return, it's now looking at the future. What are you looking at? Where is your life going in as far as entrepreneurship is concerned? Because let's not miss our words. You gave up employment for trading. Next song.
Okay, my next song is Tambla Nange by Mose Radio. It's called Mose Radio and his TV. By Mose Radio. And partially because I'd never personally cried, say, for a musician. Many have died. But I remember that the crowd around Mose's passing, so many people were hysterical. And I found myself crying about the guy. And they even never paid much attention. And that is one of the songs that I listened to over a long time after his passing. And also because of the messages in the Katonda Tambula Nange. And
for all that you've gone through in life, the trials, the tribulations, the successes, the pitfalls and all that, do you still actually believe today that there is a divine being that walks with you and steps?
Very much so. Very much so. I may not be the roadside preacher, but trust me, I'm 100%. And even after living in UK and seeing all the atheism and whatever, I've never had a doubt. I've never had a doubt because I've seen things in my life
that's
working out
explained.
that how did this come just after this, and you say, you know what, I give it to God.
We'll be right back. Let's listen to that song, a beautiful song on a Sunday evening, just to calm us down and remind us of the desire to have that divine being walking alongside you.
Desert Island Discs.
Lero ndukukwasiza Katonda
All right, here I am, Bamulinde, jack of all trades, a businessman, an entrepreneur, but a guy that has transcended the shackles of a nasty childhood, losing parents at an early stage, not living in love and affection of family, being raised therein, but succeeding in chanting his path, being very unorthodox but successful, and now a father in his own right, raising children in the best way he knows how, and also running businesses. And that's a story that many would want to say, that's what success looks like. So, what's your favorite dish?
My favorite dish is actually I like basic food. I know my wife is going to say he's lying. Today he says this, tomorrow he says that. But I like matoke. I like steamed. I like a boiled chicken. I don't mind beans. Now, I eat fish. But let me tell you a funny story about fish. Growing up in Mitoma, fish was not food.
Hey, it was what?
No, fish was food for very poor people. Now, we were poor, but even us would not eat fish.
It was for the poor.
It was like the bottom. Banyankwe didn't like those days. As in what? You can't afford meat. That's why you're eating fish. But surprisingly, now I'm a fan of fish. I can eat all sorts of baked fish, fried fish.
Wow. And how do you prefer to wash it down? What's your favorite drink?
For
a man that has
Glen 18, Macallan, my go-to drinks.
Not single malts.
And water.
You are a guy that will burst out into an easy bout of laughter.
Yeah.
What gives you a good laugh, though?
Okay. That's a difficult one. What gives me a laugh? Well, something funny, or something you think. Sometimes you see something you think is basic, and it is funny. Sometimes you're just being cynical. I know. I've a friend of mine who walked to Africana. The very first time they put those automatic doors. So when he approached it, it opened, and the guy said, "Hang on, there's a guy watching." He went backwards a bit. Then I said, "Let me go slowly." As you were approaching, it opened again. So, as in, someone said, "But why are you laughing at your friend? It's not supposed to be funny." So, probably those are some of the things that.
But your guy was also seeing life in its worst form.
Yeah.
And seeing face to face with the travesty of bad living. But what makes your heart sink? In anger or
what makes my heart sink? I think having grown up an orphan, I really hate it when I see people take advantage of children and women especially. I've seen people have been involved in land transactions where you find an uncle who was not even part of these children, but is now part of the transaction, and is not going to leave them a penny. That makes my heart sink. The other one is seeing a child who has no hope. I've always told people, even on Twitter, that I think that the worst form of injustice that can happen to anyone is being hopeless. I went through a lot. But like I said, sometimes I would block out one side, and I had hope. I had always had the thing, you know what, someday it will work out. But there are people, especially when you travel, you go up country, and you see people who lost hope. And that makes my heart sink.
Does that mean that you possibly are overwhelmed with the yoke of responsibility from picking up these kind of people, if for nothing else, to grant them hope?
Yeah, I think, I happily take on some responsibilities. I pay fees for probably more children than the number of my own children. I have many other families that I take care of. I take care of my guardian, like my parent, like you take care of a parent.
The other guardian?
Yeah, the second one. The one who was a bachelor when we moved in together.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's now with the family.
Yeah, he has his own family, worked with him to set up some businesses in Lira. He's now moved back to Lira
Okay.
and build a home for him and that kind of stuff. So I take care of what I can. Sometimes it's there's so little you can do. Sometimes maybe just buy someone lunch, just to give him hope for the day. Because there's so much someone can do. But I do my best. And personally, I always tell people it's not giving unless it's painful. I need to know that, I contributed to this cause, but today I can't afford a macaron because I gave that money away. Now probably it will be a water.
Or it could have been part of your bar bill.
Yes. So.
But tell us something, Hilary.
Yeah.
Is there something that only you knows about yourself that you never told anyone? Or that you don't imagine about?
There are many things that I probably had here, and some of the bits, the snippets I put at the mentorship program with Kabushenga, that is actually the very first time that some people have heard about them.
Today,
when
tell
I
us one of those.
Actually, a number of the things I've actually told you about, the refugee living in next to a refugee camp and whatever. Many people have never had, apart from my wife. My wife knows probably 90%, and probably what she doesn't know is probably something I forgot.
Now I'm sure you can remember part of that 10% that she probably has never had.
Now I was going to tell you one thing before that. My best man, who is the guy I'd been with from S1, found out I was an orphan in senior 6 work. Because I never lived like an orphan. I just had nothing. I still had this thing.
Like the bravado.
You'd think there's something. Maybe they have visited me. No, and actually, first time S1, they forgot to pick me. I stayed with the footballers and I was a ball boy. They had a school tournament anyway. So I stayed there. No one picked me. For 2 weeks.
And then after, how did he manage to go back?
Now I think they realized, hey, this guy, other children are back ways. So they called the school and found out.
That you are there. Then they said, okay, can
you come. Anyway, something I've told you today that no one has ever heard of. Okay. Had a sleep disorder for a very long time. This is probably my wife and not many people know. Not very many, if any, 1 or 2. Because when I was in the UK, when I was doing my master's, I used to work during day and work during night. So I would sometimes between Thursday and Sunday, I would get a maximum of 2 hours of sleep. Now, I would drink Red Bull, probably about 6 cans every day. My car, because in UK you can't drink and throw things out, I would always throw it in the back seat. No one else sat in that car anyway. So at some point, the back seat was full
of Red Bull.
So when I came back, for probably about 5 years, I had just a beep. If your phone beeps, if I leave my phone on and it beeps, I would wake up and stay awake for another probably 2-3 hours. So I struggled with that for some time. I know for some people it can actually become a major issue. It can become depression, it can become many things.
Okay, but for your wife, keeping you awake is...
but when you're awake and other people are sleeping, then you become the nuisance. Because somehow you have to move and you are waking us up, then you find yourself, let me go and just watch TV. Go walk back to the sitting room and watch TV because I actually have no sleep. So that's something probably that many people wouldn't know about. Now
do you sleep?
I think I sleep more. I got out of corporate work 4 years ago, and I do whatever I do, like I said, when I do. So if I don't have sleep at night, I don't mind. I could watch TV or do something on my laptop. I can sleep during the day. Wow. So the sleeping is no longer
a disorder.
A big issue. Yeah. But at some point it was.
Where do you see yourself in the next maybe 5-10 years? Do you intend to go on a ballot paper somewhere and go and represent Mitoma, or
I talked about putting some boreholes in Mitoma. I said, Anyway, no, I'm not. I'm not into politics. If you're not,
if I've not noticed, you're always making political commentary and
but just comments on Twitter. Just comments, hoping that maybe someone picks it and.
That's how you all begin.
Someone told me recently, say, do you have any political ambition? I said no. Like that's how they start. Even their guy who disturbed the people, they said he was just being MP. And I love it. Anyway, 5-10 years down the road. Right now I'm focusing on oil and gas. I think there's plenty of opportunities coming up in the oil and gas industry. I think it's the biggest thing that's economic-wise that has happened to this country.
That is going to happen.
Yeah, it's happening already.
We don't know.
Things are happening already. And some money has already been spent in this country. Of course, most people don't know, but it's been here for 10 years. So some people made some money out of it already from the supplies and logistics and catering and all that. So I think that it's going to present a lot of opportunities, and that's why he called me. I was in Pakwachi, and we're setting up a groundwork. We're meeting with communities, and we're going to work with some of these ventures. So I see myself doing more oil and gas supply consultancy work over the next 3 or 4 years. I see myself, of course, I'll always do real estate. It's something I'm very passionate about. Though my model may change from maybe high-end apartments to moderate, low income, because those hot cake.
The uptake is
someone moves out in the morning, someone is in by lunchtime.
There's no things about occupancy.
Yeah, but probably we'll put it to another level, work with maybe some other investors and do something more organized, which we don't have here. We don't have organized neighborhoods. Yeah, of course, the trading thing will always happen. So that's something that makes me money sometimes when I'm sleeping. Or you don't notice someone pays or comes today, and you need to say, so that I do without losing sleep. Sourcing is one of my strengths. I've built relationships. I've built rapport with a lot of suppliers in India, China, UK. That I have people who can send me 2-3 containers without putting a deposit.
Wow!
Because we built these relationships over time. And that speaks to a lot of business. Integrity is very key in business. A Chinaman will give you 1 container, you pay advance. Next time he gives you 80%. Eventually, he gives you full credit. And what happens, most guys say he looks at all of it as profit and disappears, switches off phones and whatever, which is a good thing. Because, you can build these relationships into even many other other ventures. Yeah, so I see, of course, I'm always going to be busy. I don't see myself going back into corporate work.
And certainly,
I hope I play better golf, definitely, in 5 years.
You need to.
If I'm not under 10, I'll probably call myself. Yeah, so... Yeah, perhaps see myself more into business and building up relationships. I'm now trying to help many other young people set a foot by helping them raise capital or give them advice on a number of things. I'd be happy to see other young people or less fortunate get opportunities because of my help.
You see, really, all that could be going as you want it to be.
Yeah.
But if the politics is bad or there is a deficiency in the politics, the enabling environment to do that may not be possible. And hence the need to answer an inner voice of say, but why can't I get in there to fix it?
Maybe, they say, they never say, they say never say never. Before I started playing golf, I told myself when I have $1 million, I'll play golf. The $1 million failed to come.
But you're playing golf.
But I'm playing golf. So you never know. You never know. Things could happen, but I hope maybe some things will happen, and we have politics of common sense, not where you have to drink marwa with some people so they can give you a vote, or where you have to give them the soap so they can trust you. When people start believing in what you can deliver,
not what
probably then maybe there could be an interest.
Here, Bamulinde, it's been a pleasure having you on the program. You taking off time off your very busy schedule to come and share your life story. If for not our listening pleasure, at least for the inspiration of very many young people who find themselves in that hopeless situation you could have been in Masaka, in the refugee camp, or anywhere else, or Cheyo in London. Yeah. But here you are, surviving and thriving almost in much greater levels than you ever would think.
Yeah.
So, as a word of Kwaheri, what word song will you leave us with?
Okay, I would say I've risen from grass to grace. I hope never to grass.
No.
Ever. A lot has happened in my life. I've seen a lot of blessings. I've seen a lot of what God has done in my life and what He has enabled me to do for other people. I don't take credit for most of what I've done. And as my parting song, I would say, "Victory Belongs to Jesus" by Todd Duane. It was actually my ringtone for a very long time.
Take it back.
I have another one.
You've been all over this country sourcing for business opportunities, in fact, even going out for leisure. But it would be nice for you to share with us which part of Uganda, if at all, you were to be marooned anyway. Would it be and why?
I would say Pakwach, Hoima, and Bulisa.
One place, you've told me a whole belt now, a whole grabbing back.
I'm saying any one of them, because there are many projects and they're spread over a big span of
lovely places.
So all of them. Right now, you go to Pakwach, you can't have a meal at 5 p.m. because they have all closed. There's no cappuccino and there's no sandwich. But remember, I have so many whites coming in. We have people who are not even related to oil and gas who are going to come in. You have environmentalists who are coming to snoop and get a story to say about the project. You have NGOs. So all these things are going to be required there. And they are not. So there's going to be a hospitality, accommodation, food.
So for you, you want to get marooned to kick a business idea right where it has the most, make the most money. Not to chill and relax. Typical
like we say, a lot of money in oil and gas, but you have to work for it.
Tremendous. We'll be back, same time, same place, with yet another inspirational life story. Always ordinary folks with extraordinary life stories. I love to call them incredible folks. Thank you, Hilary, once again.
Thank you, Simon, for hosting me. I was really scared. I'm glad we managed to do this.
See, you didn't die.
I know.
No one dies.
I'm alive. Thank God.
Desert Island Discs. Desert Island Discs.
So people think Cheyo was not easy.
For you,
Cheyo was the real Cheyo. Now, at the time, I'll tell you a funny story. I used to eat chips chicken every day.
What?
I ate chips chicken every day for 60 days because chips chicken was the cheapest meal anyone could buy. Here people think chips chicken is
chicken. You know how it is, even on a buffet. You can serve yourself anything, but on the
Desert Island Discs.